All right, let's do it. AI-powered solutions, ladies and gentlemen, are not only enhancing government services with AI's potential to add trillions of dollars to global corporate profits today, reshaping entire economies and unlocking new avenues for growth. Today, it is my pleasure, of course, to be joined and to discuss this topic with two distinguished speakers who are pivotal to this mission. Honored to have Ayman Alfallaj, the visionary CEO of Thiqa, whose work has led the company to become a regional leader. His experience spans various sectors, including investment technology and multi-sector enterprises. I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thanks for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to be here among all distinguished audience, as well to be with George in this panel.
Of course, honored to have George Nazi, CEO of Saudi company for artificial intelligence Sky, a thought leader with a background in AI, telecom, and cloud industries, bringing, of course, valuable experience where he led transformative strategies globally at companies like Google Cloud and Accenture. I welcome both of you to this session, and I will jump straight to the point. How do you like the setup? It's amazing, right?
Amazing.
Nice.
Center stage.
Brilliant.
All right, Ayman, from an investor's lens, how do you see AI impacting technology companies' valuations today?
Well, I mean, originally how investors look into any technology company's valuation, usually they look into growth elements. And the most important two accounts to look into are R&D activities that can be found in the P&L of any technology company, or the capitalized amount on the intangible assets of any balance sheets, right? So if you capture those two accounts, that they will lead to, at the end of the day, to IP creation. And basically, IP creation is the cornerstone of any valuation of any technology company. I believe AI will commoditize IP creation over time. The reason why this is happening is because simply AI will increase the speed and decrease the cost, which will impact those two accounts eventually. And that will lead to probably a shrink in those two accounts. Investors have to be very aware that that dynamic is not leading to less creation of value for their shareholders. They should be thinking that might be actually an opportunity of a growth used by AI. So I really believe that investor has to change their philosophies when looking into technology companies' valuation if they're looking and capturing a growth mechanism.
Clear for investors, but what does this mean for tech business leaders today?
Great point. So basically, it's the same thing. For any technology company, what you always look at as a leader is a differentiating element. And the differentiating element in technology companies nowadays, what we see is that you have a great IP that you protect and keep developing, as well as an operating model that puts an advantage over all your competitors. With AI, though, IP is no longer a differentiating element, to be honest. We know that AI is coming to kind of change the game in here. Therefore, for leaders, they have to think of other signaling element other than IP, which, in my opinion, to be focused on business modeling activities and innovate around that. Number two, which is also very important, is talent. Talent is I believe talent is the edge of value creation for leaders in technology companies.
Amazing. Let me jump to George. George, I know your work has spanned from telecom to AI to cloud computing. Considering your experience with global tech giants, Saudi Arabia has ambitious AI goals today. In your opinion, what steps should Saudi Arabia take to become a leader in developing foundational AI technologies?
Thank you. I would say there's probably three things. I mean, the first one is really developing the digital infrastructure. And when I say digital infrastructure, it's really about boosting the internet capability, building significant data center capacity, building or partnering in the data center capacity, and that creates a cloud capability for you to kind of start having the capability to build these AI applications and solutions. Now, in order to do this, that brings you to the second point, which is the skill set. It's really about developing the skill set and ensuring you have the right technical skill set. Just as a statistic, 40% in the MENA area, business owners complain that they don't have the right technical skill set, which is why in the kingdom, they have a plan to develop at least 20,000 Saudis by 2030. That might not be enough, but at least there's a plan in order to do this. And finally, and the third one is really the partnership between public-private partnership and incentivizing the private sector to invest in this technology.
Which puts us at a new era for government transformation. How do you see the impact of AI on GovTech specifically?
Well, history tells us a very good lesson. So countries who adopted and invested in digitization has witnessed great GDP growth over time compared to the ones who didn't. And I believe confidently we can say countries who will be behind on AI adoption, they will not witness a growth in GDP. Not only that, I believe countries who will focus on AI, they will prosperity will happen, but also quality of life will be improved massively.
Okay, let me follow up with a question. What does success look like for governments that will lead AI in GovTech?
I can't say more of what George has rightfully mentioned in regards to the most important crucial part here is AI infrastructure, building the muscles, right? And this is what George has mentioned, and I agree with him 100%. Now, AI will be only an overlay elements of digital platforms with technology, GovTech activities within any country. Yeah. And I believe basically if the government focuses or if governments focus on building, co-inventing, co-innovating with private sector in regards to coming up with the right to crack the code on what is the right AI mechanism that can overlay over their products and services that are provided to their citizens.
Okay, global AI index rankings, George, place Saudi Arabia in the top 10, right? Are we actually developing breakthroughs in core technologies that lead to global leadership? And first, let's answer this question, and then I'll move to another question specifically in that area.
I think first we need to become national champions. And what we're doing in the kingdom is actually developing the entire value chain of AI, all the way from the chipsets, as you know, with Alfallaj, at the same time partnering with others, yeah, to the data center and the cloud capability, again, us developing and partnering. And then we move to the foundational models between what we have in the global side, but at the same time what we have as Allam, and then how do we couple the two to create that platform so that we can build these applications. For instance, on the application layer as Sky, we develop our own products. At the same time, we partner with the ecosystem to develop our own solutions. I'll give a couple of examples. For instance, we commercialize the Sadaya products like Ainaya, where it is an application that's really used in for solving diabetic problems and diseases. And so we would commercialize that in the healthcare sector, while Sautak is the voice to text with a lot of Arabic dialects that we would commercialize. At the same time, we work with other PIF companies in order to come together to address all the sectors and the industries. In our case, we've developed products and solutions in the sports sector, in the ad tech sector, at the same time, and taking video feeds, analyzing them, and using them, whether you're using them for traffic management, traffic solutions or pollutions, or actually even in stadiums. So we're building the entire capability. I think In the near future, we will have collectively a very strong capability in Saudi. And while we're partnering with the global players, leveraging our infrastructure, bringing global companies in our marketplace in order to create more innovation, plus the innovation we have, I think we have a fantastic chance of becoming a global player.
Regarding that point, specifically on imported technology, despite the investments in supercomputing, does that label the kingdom as a net importer rather than a leader defining the future of this crucial sector?
I think even as for Europeans and US companies, you always partner with others.
Yeah.
So you're always exporting and importing. What is important for us is how do we build and how do we partner? And right now, we're doing both. And so by 2030, we will have both the capabilities of internally what we're developing across the entire value chain, but two, we will also have certain products and applications, I would say in the next 2 years, that we will export as well, and where we have specialized and driven the value in each of these sectors. We're already working on some of these products that we think we can take global, but it's going to probably take us another 18 months or 24 months so that we solidify these, we use them inside the kingdom, and then we will export them.
And to balance this
Yes,
reliance, you want to recap?
If I may add to what George has mentioned gratefully. I mean, think about it. Regulatory plays a very important role. Ironically, just before us was Dr. Abdulaziz from SAIB. Yeah. And we see the movement from that authority, a governmental authority, toward how we build an environment for AI adoption within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I believe also Sadaya is doing a fantastic job in the adoption. And therefore, I believe countries who are doing that will definitely have an advantage over the ones who are behind.
Amazing. We still have time, I think. Any last words, George?
Look, I would say when it comes to AI is here, and it's here for the next decade. Sky is definitely doubling down on AI, and we believe sky is the limit.
Amazing.
Which sky?
This guy.
Which sky? Exactly. We still have 5 minutes, so we can also have some.
Can't agree more. I can't wait to see Sky, one of the greatest brands in the world.
How do we continue working together to ensure AI serves as a tool for a positive change, George?
Look, I think there's two things. One is there is an ethical framework and a data privacy and policy with respect to ensuring that what we're doing fits within the ethical framework. Sadaya is championing the ethical framework, so we want to ensure not only us, but also our partners that we bring in adhere to that ethical framework. Two, focus on the sectors that we really can be, between us and any of the competitors to be 1 and 2 and really develop these sectors. AI, everybody thinks AI came out in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, I'm not to show my age, but in '89 I specialized in AI.
You can tell us how old.
And I was 12 then, yeah. And I was the second wave. A lot of the math, the first wave was in the 50s and the 60s, and a lot of the math that's in AI was in the late 1800s. So I think by focusing on these applications and really developing them, ensuring that they are within the ethical framework and making sure that there's privacy, sovereignty, cultural nuance to it, I think that's what we need to be doing with AI, because it's an end-to-end. The reason I went into AI has been here for a while. You can apply AI in everything, in any value stream, in any enterprise. It's like not one AI doesn't work here or doesn't work here. It's in every process within what you do. And it's really about building the platforms and then actually the actual applications that you can monetize, going back to the investment, that you can monetize and create that value creation. And if you're reducing the cost, ensuring that it's coming all together in a business case that you can build over the next few years.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know your opinion. How can we ensure AI serves as a tool for positive change? Let me ask you specifically, both in Saudi Arabia and then globally.
Sure. I mean, in Saudi Arabia, we're moving toward that, where we see regulatory activities happening all across. I mean, we're in technology companies and companies who are focusing on AI activities. We see that we're coming across a lot of surveys from the government. They're trying to understand where we're going and how they can help in making sure that AI is only here to serve humanity. And this is obvious in Saudi. I believe I'm from the school who says deregulate as much as possible and let us learn. I mean, AI will end up doing greatness for humanity and people, because it's always the case with technology. There is always be pros and cons, and we will be very open toward understanding those and navigate those goodness and challenges. And I'm quite sure that human will always overcome any challenges in that regard.
Amazing. Thank you, Ayman and George, for sharing your insights. It's clear that GovTech and AI are critical components in the journey towards economic diversification. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your host, Yasser Sagaf. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Ayman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.